I think our buildings are grossly inefficient,
Extremely.
right? I think we don't utilize product well. We don't design to standard. And I think we undercool our buildings. And therefore, I shouldn't say undercool, we erratically cool our buildings, right? So our buildings need to be what should a good building do? It should keep out the elements. It should provide us sort of a nice environment for you to do whatever it is that you want to do, whether it's your home or whether it's your office or whether it's a hotel or a restaurant or whatever. And we have this expectation that this building should be of a certain quality. In order to achieve those qualities in that building, we hobble together, various agencies who sort of know what they're doing and try and produce a good quality outcome. It's incredibly wasteful because we as designers don't follow the standards that the product manufacturers want to create for us, right? There is no coupling of this information and there is no penalty for this wastage, right? We have a very robust recycling system in India. Nothing gets wasted. Everything gets sold and then sold and then sold and eventually either resmelted or reused or whatever. But why does it have to be the case, right? Why can't industry talk to one another and have a situation where we say, okay, what is a standard floor to ceiling height? Okay, our standard floor to ceiling height is 9 foot 6 inches. What is a standard way to build walls, right? Okay, we build brick walls. Why do we build brick walls? Why don't we do partition?
Apply or drywalls or
Why
whatever.
don't we use drywall, right? Drywalls make the building lighter.
Yeah.
Drywalls are easier to build, they're easier to finish, they're easier to run services through. Why do we have this system of construction that relies on us making our buildings look like they're westernized from inside, but fundamentally following a construction system that is, hundreds of years old, adding a lot of weight to the building, making the building heavier for no reason? And there is no answer
The
for this.
40% global warming contribution is coming from the building industry.
From the construction industry. Yeah. And I was recently having a conversation with somebody who's been tasked to manage the 2.5 PM 2.5 levels in Delhi.
Okay.
And they looked at the data and they said, okay, most of it, 70% of it comes from construction sites. It's silly to blame diesel generators and cars and whatnot because these things are around even,
they don't even contribute to 5% to.
Yeah, it's mostly construction dust. And why is construction dust such a big thing? Because we cut and grind at site.
Yeah.
Right?
When I joined the business, the thickness of the teak used to be 0.4 mm. Internationally used to be 0.5. In India, we'd come down to 0.35, 0.4. Now we're down to 0.1 because the selling price is still the same what we used to sell 15 years ago. The innovation has a lot. Of course, the good thing is that you're using less material, but the bad thing is the quality of the product has deteriorated.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You would imagine that as the industry matures, the quality improves. And what you're saying is that as the industry is mature,
India, the reason why wastage, my take on this is why wastage is not looked hard enough is because at some level it is where the competition is intense. So, if you're able to give us, well, not the same quality, but decent quality product by reducing the half the volume that was being cut out of a tree. So, of course, you're taking out more out of one tree. So, therefore, you're giving more, better in using your materials. That's because of competition. The intense competition has allowed that innovation to happen in India on this particular product line. If there's a lot of wastage that's happening in the construction industry, is probably because there's no value to.
There's no penalty.
There's no penalty. There's no extensive competition. How many projects are you losing out on because you and somebody else bid with you for a project and that person turned out to take it away because they were 8 to 10% cheaper and gave a equivalent or better quality than what you were giving.
That
the day that happens, that's the day you're going to look into your business model hard into every single line item and figure out where am I going to save that little bit from.
Exactly. And then you'll optimize for product availability, right? Then you'll not be like, it doesn't matter kis size mein aata hai, meko to ye size banana hai, right? And so I think that happens with as the
As the
industry
industry matures.
matures.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think we come back to the idea that efficiency is also a sign of uh, not only maturity in an industry but also maturity in the profession, right? So when we talk about architects are still dictated by the whims and fancies of a client, and not so much by the building codes